All right, welcome back. So it's time to kind of start setting up for this hunt. So we're not going to make any content in this video. We're just going to kind of do the hunt setup. Specifically, we're going to do the hunt info and the policies tabs. Um, this is the content that people are going to see before they decide to buy your hunt. So if you're a self-guided hunt, this stuff is just really important, right? Because this is what they're going to see whenever they look and find hunts for your work. We're also going to be kind of going through the hunt review guidelines. So I put a link above this video. Go ahead and click on that link and open it up in a new tab. It should look like this. What we're going to be doing is we're going to kind of be reading sections in this. So our goal is in this video series, we want to read this entire document, right? It's like, it's not that long a document. I could read it all right now. Well, it expands, right? So there's quite a bit of information to read. And so we're going to be reading things in here as we go. So just go ahead and have that up because you're going to want it up. The other thing I wanted to say, just to repeat it again, is that brands are just really important. So I said this in the last video, but I'll say it again here. So by default, like when you go to your create page, so you can go ahead and go to your create page now. You can see I've got 2 hunts in here, just the card game stuff is all. But I don't have a brand yet. So in order to get a brand, you need to send an email, or we actually prefer phone calls if you're willing to actually talk to us, and request that brand. Once you put in that request, we will create the brand for you, and then you'll see it. For example, you just put in a request, hey, I want a brand called Dr. Fisher. So I want a Dr. Fisher brand. It won't come pre-populated with the logo. I just did that behind the scenes. You'll make a logo and you'll put it in here. This is also where you'll put payout information and things like that. So that logo and your name are just used in so many places. Definitely make sure that you set your brand up. Great. So that's what I'm going to be using for this hunt. You should use your own. You should use your own brand. So this hunt, go ahead and click on Create Hunt. It's going to be called Day at the Museum. So I'm going to click on Create. Once you create this hunt, it pops you into the Hunt Info tab. So as soon as we start working through a tab, I'm going to try to get you in the habit of going over and actually reading the information for this. So go ahead and pause for a minute and go read this content. So that one shouldn't have been too bad to read. Hopefully you saw that in this hunt info, this is going to be a public self-guided hunt. So that's actually going to be one of the first things we're going to change, is that it's going to be a public self-guided hunt. When you become a self-guided hunt, you can see that there's a lot of new tabs, right? So when you're hosted, everything above is still valid. So we do need a subtitle. I guess I should put that in. You can copy it from above this video, but it's just a family-friendly hunt at the Terre Haute Children's Museum. Selecting your brand, you probably only have one brand, but make sure you select your brand, and that'll add that logo everywhere when people play your hunt. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a public self-guided hunt, and that's going to add a lot of new fields. The first field is the description, and this is the description that's going to show up whenever people are trying to find hunts. So again, just copy the description from above the video. I'm going to paste it in as well. I'm not about to type all that. But you can see essentially it's a family-friendly event. This is just kind of an example of what I might make for a self-guided hunt. For the location, I'm going to put in Terre Haute, Indiana. This is, in fact, the city that I live in. If you want to put different information, that's fine. I'm not like grading you on whether you do these things exactly like I do. But I'm going to put in Terre Haute, Indiana. For all self-guided hunts, they're required to have a start location. You don't have to enforce people being there if you don't want to, but everything has to have a start location. And the reason we require a start location is so that people, when they do the find hunts, they can find hunts near them, right? So in order to put in a start location, you could type in the GPS coordinates if you know it, but almost everybody's going to need a little map help, right? So if you click on Show Map, I'm just going to look for Terre Haute Children's Museum. It's the top hit here. And what that does is that takes me to the location. That location is perfectly acceptable. If you wanted to get a little more accurate, you could zoom in on this thing, and I could drop the pin. So I'm going to drag it from there and drop it right by the front door. By the way, you can also click, and that will jump to different locations. And you can also drag the pointer as well. Oh, by the way, I meant to mention, it probably asked you when you launched this if you wanted to allow ClueKeeper to use your location. I've got that as a screenshot over here. So it asks to allow or block. I don't really care what you choose, right? So if you want to block ClueKeeper, that's fine. All we do with it is we just center the map on where you're at. And if you want that feature, great. and if not, I'm not trying to invade your privacy. All right, so now I've got that location figured out. Now I'm going to click on use this location. My screen's kind of small, so I just scroll down to it. Hopefully you don't have to scroll. But that's my location. Again, if you wanted to put in like something near you, that's fine. I don't mind whatever you choose to do there. For the duration, I'm going to say that this thing's going to take about 2 hours. That'll totally depend on what you're doing. And to be honest, I consider this thing to be a pretty easy hunt as far as things go. The next question is the price. Everybody always gets hung up on price. The main things I'll say about price is that you can always change it later, right? So you're not locked into anything. The other thing I'll say is that you should consult the pricing matrix. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to put something in. I'm going to put in essentially $12 here and click save. And then I'm going to go look at the pricing matrix. So the pricing matrix kind of shows the breakdown of what fees there are. So there's various transaction fees, what the creator profit would be, depending on how people buy things, and then what cut ClueKeeper, the website, is taking as well. So go look at it, and you can decide what you want to do on price. I'm going to say $12 for this one. I could have a giant speech about prices, but I'm certainly not going to. I just want you to remember to look at the pricing matrix and know that you can always change it later, right? Those are the main things. Great. So with that, we've finished the hunt info, and I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. I'm now going to go into the policies area. And since I know that I'm going into a new area, I know that I've got more stuff to read, right? So now I've got to read the policies area. So hopefully you've got this hunt review guidelines open in another tab. So there's the URL again if you've forgotten it. And open up the policies area, and you could read about some of the information that's here. So maximum hunt time, different ways to do unlocking, scoring, points, etc. So pause the video, go read that, and then we'll do it together. All right, so I'm going to start implementing my policies. So I'm going to start off by saying that this hunt can only be played with 5 team members at a time. To be honest, that's 5 devices. There could be an infinite number of people. I like to put a team size just because it gives people an idea for about how big this thing is. Like, we kind of expect you to play with a couple friends, right? So it's not really designed for by yourself. It's more fun to have a team. So it's kind of recommended for around 5. So that's what I put there. The unlock policy. For what we're doing, it needs to be a scramble, which means that these mini hunts could be solved in any order. If somebody wants to start on the 2nd floor and work down, that's fine. If they want to do it in the standard order that I've got it, they can do that as well. But it's a scramble at the highest level. Point space is fine. Total time is fine. The other thing I wanted to mention is just that you can definitely read a lot of information with our tooltips, right? So we put a lot of time and effort into these tooltips, trying to figure out, what is the information that you need. So if you ever have a question about things, the tooltip is definitely where you're supposed to start, right? Default points for clue, you can do 1,000,000 if you really want to do 1,000,000. I'm going to do 10. I kind of like 10. I don't know why. I just kind of picked that one. The answer confirmation policy, as far as the main hunt goes, it's going to be unlimited. When we get into the bonus trivia mini hunt, we'll show you how you can change it for a mini hunt. But at the top level, it's unlimited. The online versus offline mode, mostly I use online mode, to be honest. This one, for one, just to show you that you can, I'm going to say offline mode. Offline mode has the advantage that you don't need any cell service, any data plan, nothing at all. Once you've downloaded it, it's completely on your device. You don't no longer need the internet in any way, shape, or form. However, the caveat is, in order to prevent cheating, only one device can answer. I think that's fine for what I'm doing, because I kind of expect there to be one person in the Children's Museum, and like other people are helping him, but only one person is actually putting in the answers. Other people can be on the team, they can see the clues and stuff, but only one person can put in answers. So that's what I'm going to pick here. Leaderboard, I'm not actually too worried about it. GPS stuff, I'm going to accept the defaults, and then I'm going to put in the time zone that the Children's Museum is in. Great, so there I've saved that information off. So those 2 pages don't really feel like much, right? You're just kind of doing the initial setup things. All right, we'll see you next time where we start making a little bit more with the inside. See you then.